Creatures of the night, it's your girl Tati. Let's talk about Dynamite. Before I start, I have to say, as a heel myself, it warms my dark heart to see that all the champions in AEW are heels. I absolutely love that. Tonight was a really great night for anyone, well, just about anyone who are heels in AEW, and I really appreciated that. I will say this though. We started off with the aftermath of the beatdown Bryan Danielson and all the little Avengers in AEW had got at Wrestle Dream after the main event. It was very interesting to hear Moxley talking about how he hates what AEW has become, and basically, I guess being that savior AEW needs, he's gonna fix things up in there. And they're doing, and he's saying all these things as they're leaving. They end up getting into a truck and driving off. Cameraman is somewhere back there in the truck bed holding up the camera while Jon Moxley is cutting this promo. Pac is walking around with this briefcase with the AEW World Championship in it. He is guarding this thing with his motherfucking life, which is absolutely insane. Really interesting. And I think what was really important to take from this is not necessarily just what Moxley said, but to look at what the camera is focusing on. Throughout this, they are focusing on those top baby faces. We had Private Party, we had Adam Cole, Bay. We also had Chicken was over there too. Darby Allin was there. Hook, for whatever reason, they're doing whatever they can to make Hook feel included. And it's really important to note those people that they are showing during this promo, because these people are going to play some key roles in the future, especially with this storyline. It was a really great opener. Now, what wasn't great was we started off with Adam Cole, storytelling with Adam Cole, baby. Long story short, because this was long for no reason, Adam Cole is pretty much, he comes out there and he said, oh, I told the Undisputed Kingdom, them come out here with me. I want to do this by myself. And I was like, oh, okay, you still with them? Cool, nice to know. So then he goes on to talk about how MJF is the most fake person he's ever known. It was the worst decision to ever have a little bromance with him. And all these things that honestly felt very forced in terms of it almost seems like as if they want you to forget this whole thing with Adam Cole being the devil and literally being a heel prior to him, being injured and leaving or whatnot. And it was just so strange how this whole thing kind of felt, in my opinion, I don't know about anyone else, it felt kind of forced, and I didn't like that. He ends up saying, you know what, MJF, right here in San Jose, I'll whoop your ass, come out here or whatever. MJF music hits, he doesn't come out, but we do get MJF via satellite, which I feel like was pre-taped, but whatever. And MJF obviously is saying that he's better than Cole, whatever the whole situation is. I don't even give a fuck. This right here, I felt like they forced this whole story to go a certain type of way. That whole Adam Cole being a devil thing, I wouldn't have chosen to be the devil, especially after him getting injured. They could have twisted it up to be someone else. But now it's almost as if like that story had a lot of potential to being one of the best stories that AEW could have ever done. And they fumbled the whole motherfucking thing. And then now it's almost as if they want you to forget that and just love Adam Cole again. Like he's like one of the top baby faces in the company. Feels a little too forced for me. Now after this, we do have a video of the learning tree after he got his ass whooped by Mark Briscoe. He is basically putting out there that he wants a rematch and should just get that. And I'm just like, wait a minute, you lost. You're not the champion. You can't just go around and just making rematches happen. But then he goes on to say he should be the 2-time Ring of Honor World Champion, just like Jay Briscoe. Now they cut to Chicken, who is high as fuck on whatever he's on. And he's upset that Chris Jericho ended up mentioning his brother once again. He goes on to say that they're going to have this ladder war match, whatever the fuck that means, for the world title next week on Dynamite. Chris Jericho versus Chicken. And I'm just like, who the fuck wants to see that? And I'm not gonna lie, that does make me feel like Chris Jericho might win it. After this, we have tag team action. We do have FTR versus Big Bill and Brian Keith. This was great. In terms of Big Bill and Brian being a tag team. The chemistry like a tag team is not there, but I feel like individually they both have great things to offer to be part of a team. If they're making an actual legit team out of this, they need a lot more work to show that synergy as a tag team. But y'all already know FTR is the granddaddy of them all when it comes to tag teams. So yes, they end up taking this win, and Tony Schiavone is almost unbearable when it comes to commentary. The sticking up and kissing ass of all the baby faces, I'm fucking over it. Now, FTR, they win, and then as they're celebrating their win, the music stops, and they're thinking somebody's coming to attack them, and it's the Outrunners. The Outrunners, they come out there, and they get a huge pop. Everybody and their mama is screaming for the Outrunners. They come out there, and they end up doing that handshake thing that they do. Everybody is marking out about it, and I guess they're going home happy. That's great and all, but when we're at the point where the Outrunners are coming out here to make FTR look better, we're in trouble, Tony Khan. Now, one thing was really important to note here during this match is we do have LFI who's back there, and Beast Mortos is wearing a burgundy button-up shirt or whatever. Oh my God, he is just so Jimmy Beast Mortos. Give me a call, give me a call. So we'll see what ends up happening with that. Now, we do have Daddy Ass and the Acclaim. They back there. They're saying all these wonderful things about themselves that only they believe. And Daddy Ass, so he got to go start the car or whatever the hell they got to do because they're going to the gym. And here comes MVP Shelton Benjamin. They come over there. MVP ends up showing them a card. Now, Maskcaster takes it, but Anthony Bowman just looks like, look here, bitch. We don't need no damn card from y'all. We don't need nothing from y'all. But if you really look at Maskcaster is like, bitch, I need this. I need this motherfucking card. I need to give them a call. He ends up putting it in his pocket. And something just looks like maybe we on the verge of a breakup with this group, which is way overdue. After this, we have the TBS title on the line, our Queen Aminata versus Mercedes Moné. Now, I'm going to say something that maybe some people just did not realize. While this was a great match, I and probably other people were very distracted about, unfortunately, Queen Aminata's wig basically about to fall off. So it definitely looked like she had the wig glued, and it's coming off throughout the match. So little by little it's coming out, and I'm just so worried for her the entire time. I'm like, if this wig comes off completely, it's not going to be good for her. So I kind of was like, let's wrap this up because I don't want her to be embarrassed. You know, Mercedes, I like her. I think she's great. She's a great wrestler. I know some people are not impressed. I'm not necessarily impressed in terms of the display that she's gotten in AEW and also with the New Japan Strong women's title as well. I feel like more can be done. But I'm going to give it a little bit more time because I do support her, and I think she needs the support. But we need to do a little bit more. She ends up picking up the win here with a statement maker, and I like this finisher for her. Now, after this, Private Party back there. They want a rematch from the Young Bucks. The Young Bucks were just like, look, we were wrong about y'all being a mid-card act, but y'all ain't getting no damn rematch. Now, they end up leaving, and then Stokely come over there, and he's like, oh, well, if y'all was with me, yeah, I would have gotten y'all that rematch, and that, you know, if y'all need somebody to be with y'all, I'm still open to the idea. Now, Private Party still don't give a fuck, and then Stokely goes on to say, oh, well, Isaiah Cassidy, we all know you're the single star in this group. And he ends up walking away. And I was like, this bitch is so messy. Honestly, I've never really thought that about the two of them. I actually really like them as a team. And I would love to see them get their hands on some tag team gold. Now, after this, we do have the entire Elite. They're together. And today is, oh my baby's Kenny Omega birthday. And tell me, Con, we didn't even have a video package for the cleaner, nothing. But instead, we did have the Young Bucks and the Elite. They all had this black and red cake for Kenny on the table. And then they end up putting raw meat on the cake to symbolize Kenny's fucked up intestines. And I'm just like, oh, this is what we're doing? We just wasting meat in this economy right now? Absolutely insane. And Jackson Perry goes on to say that he hopes Kenny Omega dies. And honestly, nobody wants that. We love Kenny Omega up in here. So now we have the conglomeration again. I'm over it with the conglomeration. Absolutely over it. Capital letters. They go against the Elite, which is the Young Bucks and Okada. And I love how no matter how much everyone hates the Young Bucks, we do not hate Okada. They are cheering for him. They're popping for him. They love Okada. And I do too. Now, the match ain't nothing special, especially with the conglomeration in it. It's the same old moves, same old everything. Ain't nothing to talk about. What was very important to talk about is our boy, Orange Cassidy, the chosen one of AEW. He gets attacked by Wheeler Yuta out of the blue. So then we see the whole BCC 2.0 end up coming in there and beating up on the baby faces. Now, the Elite, they are there, but they kind of like back up and just watch from afar, because this is really about them getting their hands on the baby faces, especially Orange Cassidy, who got involved with the whole thing at Wrestle Dream. So they're more concerned about getting their hands on them. Now, what was really interesting was they end up stopping the match, obviously. The Elite and Okada, they're watching. They actually look pretty concerned, but they're just like, hey, we're concerned, but we're not concerned enough to help. So they end up slowly backing off. And then we end up having Dante Martin, who I didn't even know that was him because he had a little ponytail or whatever. He came in there. He was the first one over there. Top Flight came over there. And then like a couple of seconds later, we had the Dark Order, who runs out there and they're stopping, looking at the Young Bucks and like, hey, y'all EVPs, what the fuck? Why aren't you doing something to stop this? And the Young Bucks are just like, we don't know what's going on here. We just work here. We got nothing to do with this. And they end up leaving. And I'm telling you, Moxley and them, especially Marina's putting in work. Top Flight and Dark Order, sorry to see the beatdown, but it is what it is. Y'all wanted to be superheroes. Y'all got your ass whooped. And speaking of superheroes, they did have like stuff from like DC Comics with the superheroes, and I found that very fitting that they would show all that with the advertisements like on the apron and on the barricades with the superheroes. But really tonight, especially tonight, we really got a chance to see the villains taking a lot of control throughout the show. So I did appreciate that. Dark Order, they all get their ass whooped. Action and Andretti and them, they all laid out. Kyle O'Reilly was like, I'm gonna play dead. If I don't move, they'll just leave me alone. And Pac will never let go of that briefcase. He was holding onto it like his life depended on it. I don't know what that's about, but that's very interesting. I really, really love this segment. So now, as the Elite are walking back there, they still look a little bit concerned, but not concerned enough. And then here comes Private Party. After the heels and them leave, Private Party, Daniel Garcia, and Christopher Daniels, they a little too late. They went over there to check on everybody who was still barely clinging on to life in the ring. Now, after the commercial break, the Elite, they're walking back there, and that's when Daniel Garcia, Private Party, they ended up meeting up with them. It's like, y'all the EVPs, what the fuck are y'all doing? Y'all seen this happen, and you did nothing to stop this. The Jackson brothers, they don't want nothing to do with this, and they end up walking away. And then we have Daniel Garcia and Jackson Perry looking like they're about to make love with each other, staring at each other, and it was interesting. And Daniel Garcia is just telling Private Party, said, look, shit is getting wild up in here. We need to have each other's back. And I thought that was interesting. After this, we do have a video from the Swerve and MVP segment from Wrestle Dream, which really was a waste of time, but whatever. On to the match of the night. One of the best debut matches that I've ever seen. Leo Rush versus Shelton Benjamin. Shelton Benjamin don't put not just AEW, but any wrestler that wrestles today or even sometime in the future on motherfucking notice. He was absolutely so dominating here. He gave little moments for Leo Rush to do a little something. If you missed this match, absolutely go ahead and check it out. I felt like this was super strong for a debut. Shelton Benjamin was letting everyone know, say, look, I ain't miss a motherfucking step. I am here, and I'm here to make an impact in AEW. And this was just so beautiful. I could not even believe how dominating that he was here. Oh man, it's just the whole time we were just like in shock and in awe with everything that Shelton was doing. And I know some people might be like, well, Leo Rush is a small dude. Leo Rush is fucking amazing and talented. And I think he gave a really great fight. But really, this was about our boy Shelton Benjamin looking as strong as possible here. Now, throughout the match, you will be seeing MVP kind of getting at Leo Rush and talking to him. Not Layla Rush, Layla Gray, who is ringside trying to support Leo. And it was just really interesting because we just seen Top Flight get their ass whooped, and then Leo Rush makes it to the ring as if none of that shit just happened before the commercial break. So that was interesting. Absolute excellent match. Go ahead and check that out if you haven't. The only thing for me I didn't necessarily like is Shelton winning with a power slam. I felt like after a strong performance, the finisher felt a little lackluster for me. I would have definitely had something else up my sleeve if I was Shelton. After the match, MVP go ahead and cut a promo, basically letting everyone know that what Shelton just did to Leo was a statement for Swerve Strickland. And they ended up putting a card into Leo Rush pants, which is interesting because after the show, Leo Rush posted on social media himself looking at the card. So we'll see what ends up happening with that. After this, we get some little thing of Darby Allin, who is selling 8x10 signed autographs of him and Tony Hawk skateboarding or whatever. If y'all want to go buy that, that's on AEW shop, but whatever. I'm just concerned about the wrestling at this point. Now after this, we do have Swerve, who's back there, who is, I guess he's somewhat, I don't want to say he's impressed, but he's just like, well, you went against Leo Rush, so what else would I have expected from you, Shelton? Which was kind of, it was a little harsh to say, but whatever. Swerve don't give a fuck. Long story short, they end up announcing for the Halloween edition of Dynamite, we will get Swerve Strickland versus Shelton Benjamin, and I'm so excited for that. After this, we do have Tony Schiavone looking so ungrateful as he calls out Uncle Don and the family to come to the ring. They're having a little press conference, and the whole time, Uncle Don comes out. He's out there with Brian Cage and Lance Archer. Lance Archer don't got no more braids, so that was a little interesting to see. Brian Cage was out there too. I forgot that he was in that group at some point. And they start off with that. And then they end up bringing out Takeshita, the international champion, Takeshita. And they also bring out Kyle Fletcher as well. The fashions are on point, especially for Kyle Fletcher. Takeshita actually, y'all, gets on the mic in front of the whole motherfucking crowd and cuts a promo in Japanese and in English. He said, I'm going to be a ring defending champion, and all y'all motherfuckers better watch out. If y'all want the title, come get it. And honestly, I felt like a proud mama watching that promo because I was like, this is all we've asked for, Tony Khan. This is all we've asked for. And that whole group, I think they look really great as a group. We'll see what ends up happening. They were trying to get like a response out of Kyle Fletcher in terms of why he had attacked Will Ospreay at the pay-per-view. And the crowd was just booing and being ungrateful. So they didn't give the explanation because you know what? They don't motherfucking deserve it. And rightfully so. After this, we do have Mariah May, who cuts a pretty strong promo back there, who is just like, she's world champion. However, Toni Storm, she's on PWI 250, number one on that list for top women's wrestler of the year. Willow Nightingale still getting praised, and all these other things are happening where no one's really focusing on her. And while she's talking, here comes Anna Jay, who comes to, I guess, look for her title opportunity against Mariah May. She goes to go slap her, but Christopher Daniels get in the way and got his ass slapped, and Mariah just makes it away. That is leading to Battle of the Belts, which is on Saturday, that nobody even knew was happening until just now. So get ready for that after Collision. After this, we do get a strong promo from Ricochet, and that's all I've been saying, was that Ricochet just needed an opportunity to show himself. Everyone know that he's great in the ring, but I think people has always felt like he lacked not just personality, I would say, but they never really got a chance to hear him through promos during his time in WWE. And I felt like we've gotten some really great stuff from Ricochet. This was a really great promo. He's saying, Takeshita may have won, but Takeshita, he beat Will Ospreay. He ain't beat me. So apparently he wants to get his hands on Takeshita, since Takeshita then pinned him. Takeshita cheated and all that stuff to end up winning, and that got nothing to do with Ricochet. So at some point, they definitely want to get their hands back on each other, with each other again for another title shot. We'll see what ends up happening with that. And he's over here calling out the whole AEW locker room, and that he's going to show everybody what he's all about on Collision on Saturday. Now after this, Jon Moxley and the whole crew done got back there, beating the hell up out of Top Flight and Dark Order again. Marina Shafir is putting in work, okay? She might not be wrestling, but she's putting in work with the group, and that I can appreciate. And once they finished beating them up and end up getting back in the car and driving off, then we heard promos from both Top Flight and Dark Order. They both want to fight the new BCC, whatever the hell they call themselves, and they kind of cut similar promos, and they're looking to get their hands on them on Collision. They have not announced if they will be having a match, but we'll see about that. Now, our main event, our stepdaddy, Christian Cage, versus Jay White. Lord have mercy, Jay White. Oh, God, this man is just, oh, God. Everything is just right. He is just right. Now, I will say this. It does kind of feel a little bit random in terms of this match coming together, to be honest with you. I felt like neither of these guys could actually take the win here, especially Jay winning and beating Hangman, and then our stepdaddy who's walking around with a Money in the Bank clipboard. So it's just really interesting how this whole thing came about. And I do believe, I'm 99.9% sure that these guys have never had a match with each other before. So I don't know where this came from. We're going to save this for a pay-per-view. Now, I thought that this was really great. They ended up kicking out Juice Robinson and Colton from ringside because Nick Wayne pretended that they were going to use a chair during the match. They ended up dragging Nick Wayne from ringside too. So now Mama Wayne goes on to follow her son, who's getting his ass whipped back there. So we continue on to have this match. Now, twice I want to say, if not 3 times, Kip Sabian just comes up to the fucking apron, and then we even had Hangman who showed up twice during this match for a distraction. It felt a little confusing, like something was a little off with this whole thing. I don't know what that was about, and to be honest, something about it was just like, what the fuck is happening here? And it didn't feel like a strong finish. We had Hangman end up hitting a buckshot lariat onto Jay White while Kip Sapien is distracting the referee, who just don't hear all the commotion going on behind him, which is absolutely insane. I hate this shit. But our stepdaddy, though, he ends up taking the win, and I appreciate that. And Hangman was just laying on the side of the ring with the craziest look in his eyes, and his eyes are just so wide open. He's not blinking. He looks fucking deranged, and honestly, I love it. I didn't really feel like this was a strong way to end the show, especially after having beatdowns throughout the night from BCC 2.0. That type of stuff felt more stronger throughout the show than how the show had ended. I wish it could have been a little bit better. But overall, a really great episode of Dynamite, and finally having heels really, for the most part, taking control of the show feels like a really nice thing to have right now, in terms of the typical conglomeration and all this foolishness of the baby faces always winning and all that stuff. It's time for them to get their ass beat too before they apparently hulk up and end up probably winning this whole storyline thing between the baby faces and the heels going on in AEW. I did really enjoy the show. Tomorrow I'll be doing a review on Ring of Honor, also doing a live stream if you want to pull up for that. And I'll see you guys then. Bye.